Our big focus this morning is on the battle for the states. By-poll results for 3 Lok Sabha and 33 Assembly seats will be announced. Can the BJP still count on the Modi wave to win elections, especially after the embarrassment is faced in Bihar when Lalu and Nitish joined forces against the Saffron Brigade? The results will be extremely important, coming barely a few weeks ahead of Assembly elections in 4 crucial states.
Round 1, Uttarakhand. BJP drew a blank in the 3 seats that went for the by-polls. Round 2, the Modi wave landed with a soft thud. The BJP ceding assembly seats in states it had swept in the Lok Sabha elections. Today is a litmus test for the 4-month-old Modi Sarkar. For one, the 11 assembly seats in UP, whose outcome may be a pointer to which way the political wind is blowing in the run-up to 2017 assembly polls. The run-up to the by-polls have seen bloody riots in the state and hate-filled accounts by leaders who propounded the love jihad theory.
हम लोगों ने तय कर रखा है कि अगर वो एक हिंदू बालिका को ले जाएंगे तो कम से कम 100 मुस्लिम बालिकाओं को हिंदू
मदरसों में राष्ट्रीयता की शिक्षा नहीं दी जाती है, वहाँ आतंकवाद की शिक्षा दी जाती है। काहे को अलग अलग ये मदरसा बोर्ड बना रखे हैं।
SP Chief Mulayam Singh Yadav has made no bones about prestige being at stake, fielding his grandnephew Tej Pratap Singh from the Mainpuri seat.
समाजवादी पार्टी की जो अभी रिपोर्ट आ रही है, उससे लगता है कि सब सीटें जीतेंगे।
The results are also crucial for the BJP, that is looking to assert itself as a powerful state-level player to make difficult allies like the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra fall in line.
जब भी चुनाव आता है ऐसा क्षण आ ही जाता है कि लगता है कि इस पर या उस पर, लेकिन आज तक तो इस पर ही रहा है, उस पर हुआ नहीं है।
The negotiations are on with the Shiv Sena, which is our trusted alliance partner in Maharashtra. There is a proposal which has been given by the state leadership under the mandate of the central leadership to the Shiv Sena chief, and it's too early to make any comment on that.
This is also personal for Prime Minister Modi. With the Lok Sabha seat of Vadodara in the fray, opposition is smelling blood, especially with it being the first election campaign in nearly 12 years that the BJP has run without its star campaigner. Modi would also hope to capitalize on the diplomatic scores in Pakistan, Japan and now China, and with inflation close to a 5-year low as per the latest figures. But his man in charge, who has already kick-started expansion plans in Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala and West Bengal, would hope to have consolidated BJP's electoral fortunes with today's results. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Counting on the seats where by-polls have been held has begun, and I want to go across to Headlines Today's correspondents who will get us the latest from the polling, from the counting booths. Joining us this morning from the Polytechnic in Vadodara is Gaurav Sawanti. Sudhir joins us from Hyderabad. Indrajit Kundru is joining us from Chaurangi in Kolkata. And with me in the studio, we've got Dr. Ashok Lahiri, India Today Group's ace cephalogist. Thank you very much. Morning, great to have all of you with us this morning. And I want to go across first to Gaurav Sawant in Vadodara. This is where Narendra Modi won with a margin of more than 5.7 lakh votes. There wasn't as much interest in the by-polls, but describe to our viewers the significance of the by-polls in Gujarat, and also how much time will it take before we know who's won in the battle for the by-polls?
Rahul, in a couple of hours, the situation will be completely clear. Will Vadodara once again give Prime Minister Narendra Modi a birthday present? Remains to be seen. Of course, as you rightly pointed out, the excitement that was there when Vadodara was sending a Prime Minister to Delhi was tremendous. But this time, it's just sending a member of parliament, if at all, and if at all from the BJP. And that is why if you see the polling margins from 70% plus when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was contesting down to 45% when he was not contesting. So that is the difference. And that is not just the story of Vadodara, the Lok Sabha seat. That's the story of the 9 assembly bipole seats also across Gujarat, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi's old Maninagar seat. This excitement was only for the Prime Minister. Now what we are being told is in the next couple of hours, the situation will be very clear. This is more about Anandiben Patel's hold over Vadodara and the other places more than the Modi wave. The Modi wave saw him through. It's the Anandiben Patel wave, if at all, which we'll know by 9:30, 10 very clear, Rahul.
Well, Anandiben Patel says she wants to give a birthday present to her mentor. Tomorrow, of course, is Prime Minister Modi's birthday, and she wants to sweep all the 10 seats in Gujarat where bipolls have been held. I want to go across also to Kolkata, where Mamata Banerjee would have us believe that these bipolls are not very significant. But given the fact that the heat is building up in the Sarda scam investigation, given the fact that the BJP has done as well as it has in the recently concluded Lok Sabha elections, the focus squarely is on whether or not Mamata Banerjee can snatch these seats away from her rivals or not.
Well, that's right, Rahul. You know, the focus is definitely on the Sarda scam and the CBI probe. The entire opposition made this the poll plank in this bipole. So if the Trinamool Congress can win this one, it's going to be a huge moral victory for them, and that's how they are looking to fight this politically. That's the reason why we saw how the Trinamool Congress, even during the campaigning, was demonstrating outside the CBI office in Kolkata. So it will come as a moral boost for the Trinamool Congress. However, they are going to face a very tough challenge from the BJP in both these constituencies. The Congress had won it. If you see the recent Lok Sabha elections, they had a slender margin of about 1,500 votes in Chaurangi, and in Bashirhat, a very crucial seat on the Indo-Bangladesh border, the BJP had a lead of 30,000 votes if you analyze the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. So in both these seats, the Trinamool is actually trailing. So they would like to win these two seats to make a comeback, but the BJP is going to give them a tough challenge given the fact that Amit Shah himself campaigned here in Chaurangi, and the message was very clear. The BJP is not going to spare anyone who are involved in the scam. As he said, they are going to land in jail.
Dr. Lahiri, the focus once again this morning is squarely on Narendra Modi. Is that even fair? These at the end of the day are bipolls. Prime Minister Modi can say, don't link it to me, it's got nothing to do with me. These are being determined on the basis of local issues. Or is this the trend that we are likely to see over the next 5 to 10 years, where everything is linked around the personality of Modi himself?
Rahul, the first point is bipolls are important, they're tests. But bipolls do not elect governments. So normally you will find that the government or the ruling party does worse than what it did in the general election in bipolls. So bipolls are important insofar as it will put a wind in their sails if BJP does as well or almost as well as what it did in the general elections. It's a good sign. But even if it doesn't, one shouldn't read too much into it, because the people, you can see from the turnout, people are not as enthusiastic because what is at stake.
There's fatigue. They've just had a big election. They're not that excited as they were sometimes.
Yet, I think what we should look out for are reversals and percentage of votes polled by the winning party and what is the margin. I expect margins to narrow. For example, in Vadodara, I don't think Mr. Modi's margins can be repeated by whoever.
5.7 lakhs is a record.
It's the deputy mayor who is fighting, but I don't think he can match that margin. Even in Mainpuri, where Mulayam Singh Jadhav was fighting, you can't expect his nephew, or grandnephew actually, to repeat that performance. So it's impossible. Even Chandrasekhar KCR, in Medak it cannot be repeated.
No, but what would be very significant is a reverse. If, for example, for the last 5 elections in Mainpuri, it's the Samajwadi Party that has won, and this time, if that vote share gets eaten into, or if there's a reverse, that then would give the BJP that much more leverage in demanding early assembly elections, saying that the SP government in Uttar Pradesh has lost the mandate of the people.
True. And another thing about Mainpuri, this will be the first time will see a family with 3 generations in the Lok Sabha. Because Mr. Mulayam Singh is there, his next generation is there, this is the 3rd generation coming.
You've got Dharmendra Yadav from Badaयूं, you've got Dimple Yadav, Akhilesh's wife from
Ram Gopal
Kannauj,
Yadav.
and now you've got the grandnephew, all of them. So this is the Yadav
3rd
clan.
generation. This is the height of family politics.
Well, let's see if it gets accepted or rejected by the voters of Mainpuri. I want to go across to T.S. Sudhir, Headlines Today's editor, South. Medak is where KCR contested from. He's now Chief Minister. He's given up that seat. Explain to our viewers the significance of the by-polls in Telangana and in Andhra Pradesh.
Well, Rahul, this is the first electoral test that K. Chandrasekhar Rao is facing. In fact, he has already made it a prestige issue. He has asked the voters of Medak to elect the TRS candidate by a majority more than what they gave him in May 2014, which is more than 3.5 lakh votes. That is unlikely to happen, as Ashok Lahiri was pointing out. One, because the voting percentage has dropped from 77% in May to about 68% now, and that is something which is likely to deflate the TRS hopes a bit. KCR, in fact, had deployed his nephew and irrigation minister of our Telangana, Harish Rao, for a full 20 days, 3 weeks for campaigning in Medak, because they had made it a prestige issue, also calling it a referendum on 100 days of the TRS government here in Telangana. But of course, the TRS does have its foot forward because, one, the Congress is in a very dispirited state as far as Telangana is concerned. Also, and because even though the BJP-TDP had put up a combined candidate, the alliance does not work very well on the ground in Telangana. So they would gain by a divided opposition vote. But having said that, anything less than the kind of majority that KCR won by would definitely give his rivals, the Congress and the BJP, something to point fingers at. But yes, this would be seen as some kind of a vote on the performance of the TRS government, the first 100 days of K. Chandrasekhar Rao here in Telangana. Rahul?
And the other thing, Dr. Lahiri, which would be very significant, is if the BJP is able to win, for example, in Telangana, where the party is then able to demonstrate that it is actually expanding its horizons beyond just their performance in Andhra Pradesh. And if, for example, in the Gujarat by-polls, where for the first time Prime Minister Modi and his stature and his personality is not involved in this polls, at least directly, the Congress can then start feeling, okay, maybe now that Modi is not there in Gujarat, we can start clawing our way back.
Absolutely. In fact, I will add to what you have said. In West Bengal, for example, there are 2 seats which are being fought. And BJP, as we saw in the last Lok Sabha election, made inroads into West Bengal by increasing its vote share. What we have to see now in these 2 seats, especially after the Sharda Kand, whether BJP actually increases its vote share, and if so, by how much. So these will be indicators. But again, as I said, these are important. These are weather vanes, but one shouldn't read too much into it. That's all I'll say.
Gaurav, does the Congress feel that it is in with a chance now that Modi is not in the fray directly? At least Saurabh Patel has been intensively taking care of campaigning efforts in Gujarat for these by-polls. Anandiben Patel has been involved herself. But Modi not being present, does that make the Congress feel that they're in with a chance now? At least going forward, they can claw their way back. Gaurav.
Well, that is Congress's one big hope. Of course, this election, and especially Vadodara, is all about the margin and the vote share. Will the Congress be able to increase its vote share? It is hoping that it will be. Whether it will bring about a change, that remains to be seen, as both you and Dr. Lahiri were pointing out, Rahul. But in the 9 assembly seats, we're not just talking about Maninagar, but also other seats, whether it's Anand or some of the others. The main focus has been, because there is no Modi wave, so to say, because Modi is not contesting, that excitement was missing. As again you were pointing out, because you weren't sending a prime minister, the number of people who came out to vote were much lesser. This wasn't an election that was forming a government, so this was more of a routine exercise, because that excitement of forming a government, that excitement of change, all of that is gone. So now, from what political analysts and political animals here have been telling us, this is all about cadres coming out to vote, people who are genuinely politically aware, they are coming out to vote. That enthusiasm, that excitement about youth coming out, women coming out, all of that was missing this time.
The by-poll elections in Uttar Pradesh are being seen as the semi-final before the 2017 assembly elections. It was because of its spectacular performance in the state that the Saffron Party managed a majority in the Lok Sabha. And the BJP is once again counting on Narendra Modi and Amit Shah to drive the party to victory. Coming against the backdrop of hate speeches and RSS's love jihad rhetoric, these results will be an acid test for the Prime Minister.
अगर वो एक हिंदू बालिका को ले जाएंगे तो कम से कम 100 मुस्लिम बालिकाओं को
हिंदुओं के साथ अन्याय होगा, अत्याचार होगा, तो उसका मुंहतोड़ जवाब देने का काम नहीं करेंगे।
Never have passions been so high for such a small number of seats in Uttar Pradesh. But never have been stakes for a central government so highly dependent on election results in one state either. By-polls in just 11 assembly and 1 Lok Sabha seat of UP have been dubbed the big test for the 4-month Narendra Modi government. It's a big test for the BJP president as well, who managed to score 73 out of 80 Lok Sabha seats the state has to offer. Results for 11 assembly seats, all currently being held by BJP and its partner Apna Dal, will be out today. The big challenge for BJP, ensuring it retains all of them. Even one seat less would be a blot on Modi and company. The pressure is showing.
वातावरण तैयार किया और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पक्ष में मतदान हो, इसकी भरपूर प्रयत्न किया, कोशिश की। उस आधार पर हम आज ये दावा करने की स्थिति में कि हम सब जीत रहे हैं। पर स्वाभाविक है, परिणाम जो जनता ने फैसला किया है वो स्वीकार हो।
The stakes are unusually high for political parties in the state. Interestingly, for the BSP as well, though it did not contest the by-polls after scoring a duck in the Lok Sabha elections. For BJP, expectations are sky high after its performance in May. Anything less than a clean sweep will be interpreted as a loss for Modi, especially after the recent by-polls. For Mulayam, the Mainpuri seat is more than a prestige. It was the seat he vacated. It is a seat that has stayed with his family. Congress, meanwhile, is riding high on its unexpectedly good performance in the recent by-polls. Also, anything that Congress gains is a bonus, particularly one to flaunt in Narendra Modi's face. Importantly, the results are being closely watched at Matoshri as well. They will, after all, be the decider in the seat-sharing battle between the BJP and the Shiv Sena. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.